A hamster on a wheel. Humanity encompasses a huge diversity of beings who come from many races, religions, traditions, and cultures. We can observe the incredible diversity in our world in the various races, religions, traditions, and cultures of people, and we have to add in heredity as well. Even amidst all the diversity, humans as well as animals have one thing in common. It is the fact that each and every one of them is doing everything they can to catch happiness. We do everything with the hope of achieving happiness, but how many can truly say they achieved it? Take a moment now and reflect on this. Now, reflect on your life and you can see that when we were little, we could only cry in order to get someone's attention. Crying was the only way that we could get what we wanted. Our desires were simple but vital. We wanted toys, snacks, food, often a diaper changes, and more. Once we got what we wanted, we would stop crying. Of course, no one remembers how many buckets of tears we shed in our childhood in the quest to be happy and free from suffering. As we matured, it became time to attend school. We had to go to school, prepare for exams, and attend tutoring classes. With the onset of formal schooling, our childhood was gone and began a life filled with studying and the competition that came with it. Not only was the idea of success forced upon ourselves, but there was also the pressure from our family for us to get high grades so that we would be assured a place in the better schools. We worked hard and accepted the pressure to fulfill these expectations because we believed that if we were succeeded, we would be happy. But we recognized that the student life was rife with stress, disappointment, and anxiety. It made us begin to question what we were doing. Was all this suffering the way to happiness? Some of us became very uneasy about this path. Is all this suffering worth some unknown idea of happiness? Still, we pursued and finally got our degrees. Soon after, we wanted a job that we liked, an attractive salary, a company that could offer us career advancement. And we thought we would probably be happy when all those conditions were met. But not everybody's expectations came true. At this point, happiness became rarer than snow in Bangkok. Things and events didn't go as well as we hoped. Consequently, our struggle for happiness and pleasure fell flat and we were again confused and puzzled. We couldn't find a road leading to the jackpot. We were caught in a never-ending cycle of struggle and failure. Why is it never-ending? It is because our desires never end. It's our nature that we are never quite satisfied with the way things are. We always wanted more, and more. Even when everything has fallen into place, be it work or our personal assets, we are still not completely contented with our lives because then life falls into darkness once again. And with that, suffering started to creep back in. Life began to cry out for another shot of happiness. We lust for more success in order to keep us going because reality threatens to make us feel small and meaningless. And therefore, we have to set a new target. Probably it's in the direction of creating a family. We hope that having and raising children will fulfill our lives. People without a partner tend to substitute children for dogs, cats, goldfish, rabbits, or in this digital era, a robot. All this effort is in the service of finding and securing happiness. One defining factor that runs throughout our lives is the fact that we have been relying on external things for the little bit of happiness that we experience. That includes people, music, moving forms, electronic gadgets, and a plethora of things of all sizes and shapes. Obviously, we don't know what it's like to experience happiness without being dependent on the stuff of the world. We have all observed that this is the way most people foolishly live. Some of these people would proudly tell us that their life has been a great success. Life worked out as they hoped and dreamed, and they managed to get everything they ever wanted. All the while, the ultimate reality concerning our lives is that as the days, months, and years pass by, we are moving towards old age, sickness, and death. I would challenge the people who feel that their life has been a success by asking them some simple and straightforward questions. Questions such as, can you say that you obtained the real happiness that you hoped for? If the answer is yes, the next question I would ask is, if you are content with your so-called success, can you now, with your contentment, stop chasing after happiness? Do you still want something? Do you still want to visit some place? Have all your wants and needs that used to pop up in your mind evaporated? Can you confirm that your mind is free from all the struggles and strategies you used to rely on to find something you hoped will bring you happiness? If the answer is no, then it means that deep down you are not happy with the way things are. You still crave for more of something or another. The craving in your mind is still playing with you, still generating hope and disappointment you are so familiar with. Is still waiting to pounce. You are certainly not describing the state of true happiness. In the past, we spent our days and nights walking on a path of illusory happiness, fake happiness. It was a kind of happiness that functioned in the way of a shadow. Whenever we try to grasp onto our shadow, we find that we are holding on to nothing but air and shadows. We have been running after shadows for all our life, so obviously we have yet to get anything of substance, and we never will. So now, we are poised to ask the question, if all we have been doing for more than half our lives hasn't worked, then where is the path to true happiness? True happiness arises in any moment when we are free from suffering. Whenever you're on a path that produces a free moment, you will instantly experience true happiness. True happiness is happiness that is not driven or enslaved by anything, including desire and greed. True happiness is happiness from being free from all the modes of confinement. Genuine happiness is the happiness that doesn't rely on anything in this or any other world. The Buddha has taught the path leading to the complete freedom from suffering. They encompass in the Four Noble Truths. If these truths are taken to heart and practiced seriously, you are certain to come to see the result you are hungering for. Having come to realize these truths, you won't have to go through the same endless struggles that you have experienced from childhood to adulthood, from birth to death again and again, ad infinitum. This is because recycling the same perspective, the same activities, is essentially no different than being a hamster on a wheel. The hamster has to run around and around again and again until it finally collapses and drops dead. The analogy is that without the essential understandings of the truth, we too are destined to run around in circles through countless lifetimes. It is not like we have to run around on a hamster wheel for just one cycle of birth and death, where we have to be hamsters on a wheel. But this particular manner of living is exactly what we have been doing without ever suspecting that we have been recycling the same thing over and over again for who knows how long. As long as we still have to be born, a life similar to that of a hamster on a wheel will be one's destiny, and life will be like running hard trying to catch your shadow. And if today you truly contemplate what the life of a hamster is really like, you will understand how utterly boring it is to have to live a life like a hamster.